دارفور بلدنا رجعنا نعمل وننتج نعلي شعنا الليلة يومنا شعرنا هلا لكن كلامنا لسه دارفور بلدنا نقرا وناسيت لكن نعلي شعنا الليلة يومنا شعرنا هلا لكن كلامنا لسه دارفور بلدنا دارفور بلدنا دارفور كل القبائل دارفور بلدنا نخلي الفرقة نلم القوة دارفور بلدنا أرض السلالة وسلام يوم بيا الليلة يومنا شعرنا هلا لكن كلامنا لسه دارفور دارفور دارفور
It's a hard topic. It's about the crisis in Sudan, in Darfur. What we're trying to do here is show what is and has been happening in the Darfur region and showing it in as realistic light as possible.
The story revolves around 6 Western journalists that visit this small village. They're confronted by a force of Janjaweed militia that arrive in the village, and the journalists are faced with a choice: either leave and report the atrocities that are taking place in Darfur to the world, or stay in the hopes of averting what they know is a certain slaughter.
Is there anything we can do?
You say we go back? We head back. We don't, they're going to kill these people. We there, they're not going to touch them with Western media.
No.
What do you, well? You guys look at me like I'm crazy. I said, what'd I say?
A lot of it is hard to watch, but it's important that people see just how far these atrocities go.
I thought it's important to make a movie about the genocide in Darfur, actually, during the genocide happens. So I think it's very important to not always wait till it's all done and then to make movies about it. And I think it was important to make that movie here to force the United Nations and the NATO to do action to get Bashir out of his seat and to stop the genocide.
When you read about the atrocities that are happening everywhere else, you can't help but want to get involved in some way. I think being a part of this film and working with some of the Darfur refugees and hearing their stories firsthand, it's a start. And I'll be interested to see what I can do from here.
The deeper you go, you see that this problem it's not just a surface deal. It's not just these Janjaweed running around killing people. This is like government controlled. And then on top of that government, you have another government controlling that government. And it seems helpless.
The mutilation of children. Is it a sense of power? Is it a sense of, you know, it's something I can't really get my head around, and I'm trying to understand what would possess someone to go so far.
It's been a real trip working with some of these people here, because these are a lot of the people who are playing the actual townspeople are the real deal, which is insane. And hearing some of the stories about them and actually meeting these people in real life, yeah, it really does bring it that much more in focus. You know, it's not like watching it on, you know, a random news program or something like that. I mean, it brings a real human aspect to the whole thing.
One of the moments I think that sticks out for me the most was when we first brought our Darfuri here, and we took them down to the village that we had built. We'd done a lot of research on how villages were built and what they look like and so forth. And so we took one of our Darfuris down here that was helping us out for the first time, and we have to drive about 1 kilometer to our set. And as we were driving down, we showed him our production designer, Sylvain Gingras, showed him the drawings and the compositions that he had done of the village. And this Darfuri looked down at the picture, and he just put his hand on the picture and touched it. And he just said the word Darfur, and then he just started weeping with tears. Obviously because of what he had experienced back in his home country. And then when we went down to the set, again, he couldn't contain himself because it was exactly like being home for him. And to see a village that hadn't yet been burned, to see a village that was thriving, that looked like it was thriving. It was our set, but it looked like a very authentic Darfur village. So I think for me, that was probably one of my most memorable moments.
I will never forget interviewing Hadija, who is a woman from Sudan, the Darfur region, who's a refugee, now living in South Africa, and hearing her story and sharing her pain, what she's been through. It forever has affected me. And that look in her eyes and the absolute brokenness about her. And her being brave enough to let not only me, but the rest of the world into her life. We're gonna get help for your country.
I'm just alone in the family. I don't have any relative, no mother, no father.
I'll never forget that experience.
Everybody who was here working on the project really went for it and put a lot of energy in and a lot of effort to bring their characters to life. And what was a big surprise was, of course, the whole African cast. With the Sudanese playing, like we have original Sudanese refugees playing themselves and their situations. And like Yusuf, and he's losing his family in the movie and how he reacts to it. These were real tears and he gets a completely breakdown. And there are parts in that scenes, they were like totally unstaged, and I think these are the great scenes of that movie.
I feel like I'm in Darfur. Now, what do you think? Do you agree? When I lose my family and my relatives, or neighbors, or my Darfurian people, why I cannot be angry? Why I cannot be angry?
I couldn't expect a professional actor to give the kind of performance that Abdul gave in this scene. And what made it particularly poignant for me was that I knew he was experiencing, in that moment of performance on camera, what he had experienced in real life.
It's shocking, really, when you have an actor in a scene where their family is killed and they are basically reliving when it happened to them for real. I mean, it's difficult to know how far you can go with that, but we basically let the actors go with it as far as they wanted to go, and they went surprisingly far, some of them. I mean, I really admire them.
I think this film is basically only doable without a script, because if you have a lot of amateur actors like the Africans acting totally natural, how you want to script that, really? I think it was important to come here and to listen to them. And they, for example, said, you build a town like this, and this town is built out of real brick, out of real wood, exactly how they would do it in Sudan. And I think they gave us so many advices how the real Sudanese village life goes, that it would be just arrogant and absurd to sit like in North America and to write something down, like 100-page script, that you come in here and you say, okay, this is how we want to shoot it, and the Sudanese should learn my lines. So it makes no sense. They also talk Arabic and not English in a lot of the scenes, what I think makes it realistic.
I'd say this was the most impossible movie I've ever made, but it was also impossible not to make it. And it was impossible not to be involved in it because of what it is.
I hope everybody sees this movie. I know everybody is affected by it as much as I've been affected by it.
This is a very, very important project, and I'm very proud of being a part of it.